Jimmy Pankow.
I guess.
With Chicago from the very beginning. You were there when you started the whole thing.
I was there, and I still am. In February of 1967, we met in Walter's apartment in Chicago and made a gentleman's agreement, a handshake, and a verbal agreement to commit our lives and our energies to this thing that we now call Chicago.
Time passes much too quickly when we're together laughing. I wish I could sing it to you.
Once we got our little foot in the door, I didn't allow the door to close, or we didn't allow the door to close. Yeah. We just kept working at it to stay hopefully successful, at least to be able to continue making records.
Do you remember the first time you heard one of your tunes on the radio?
It was probably Make Me Smile.
Tell me you will stay, make me smile. Living life is just a game, so they say.
The core group was actually Walter, Terry Kath, and Danny Serafin. They had a band that was the core of what became Chicago. I just happened to be a musician, a singing keyboard player that, of some, little repute.
I've been waiting such a long time for Saturday.
We're so caught up in, still creating and doing things today that very seldom do you dwell on the past, Elliot, in a way. But every once in a while, you'll hear somebody say, hey, you know what, I came to see you, and it's been 20 years, and I was dating this girl here. I've now become a doctor. My wife is a professional person, or whatever it is, and I proposed to her over this song or whatever, and you had a big change, profound, presence in my life. It's sort of very flattering to hear that we have touched people all over this world. When you hear a band, say in Hiroshima, Japan, playing Color My World, and the flute player is playing a thing note for note the way I played it, it sort of gets you a little bit right there. Try to do a little piece of musical immortality, and every once in a while somebody will come up and maybe reaffirm that. And I'd be lying to you not to say that it's really flattering, and it's really a great thing, and you dwell on it, then you think about the next time you're going to put the horn together and be a little better than you were the night before.
How would you describe how the sound of Chicago has changed over the years?
We have grown up. So we have learned how to play more just by simply playing our instruments. And also the electronics have changed quite a bit through the years.
The current lineup has been together pretty much since '85. That's when Jason and Dwayne came in.
You were my inspiration, just you and me. Simple and free. Baby, you're everything I've ever dreamed of. Oh, yeah.
And they really went out of their way at the beginning, and still do, to make really everybody around feel comfortable that we are a band, and we're a democracy, and we vote, and it's very comforting.
Maybe the influence of the original members has rubbed off in that, there's never been one single star in the band.
You talk to most of the guys, they had an inkling early on that they were going to do something like this. And I don't know if that's all the same people attracted to this or whatever, but I always knew that something would happen with this, that we'd be sitting here talking to you now, Elliot, so many years later. Even though I'm a dreamer, I would have never thought it would have lasted this long, over 100 million records and hits in 4 decades and all of that stuff. But I thought we'd have a few hit records and we'd be out there lying and having a good time with people or whatever. But this has been a heck of a lot of fun.
And now you're up to Chicago 21, the latest album that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was the last one.
When will 22 happen?
Well, 22 hopefully will happen soon. We're due for a new record. But folks, this is not what you're going to expect. 22 is probably musically the most daring thing we've done in 20 years.
Really? Why is that?
We took chances with this record. We felt we had to make an album that we needed to make. This record is hopefully the record that the fans of this band that have kind of written us off because we became too predictable and too ballad-oriented will go, Chicago's back.
Up next, the Beach Boys on A&E in Concert. 1969, Chicago has been out on the road every year, across America and around the world. Here's a look at the places and faces of more than 2 decades of touring.
You come to our Chicago concert and they walk out with a smile, we've done our job.